Hello everybody and welcome back to my garden. And if you are new here, my name is Ashley and I garden here in Northern California, Zone 9B. And today I just wanted to pop on for a quick minute and give you guys an update on Dahlia Way. And as some of you know from my previous couple of videos, I've been dealing with spider mites out here really bad. It was such a bad infestation, and I was really concerned that I was going to lose a lot of my plants. And a lot of you guys gave me really good advice, and I'm very grateful for that. And I kind of took a mixture of a lot of them. So there was a few that were just so infested, and I didn't have any good foliage left that I just cut those right back to the ground. And I'm happy to see that there's actually little green shoots coming back up. So hopefully we get healthy recovered foliage that doesn't get reinfested. And then for some of the other ones, I actually ended up limbing them up more severely than I would have limbed them up. They're supposed to be limbed up anyway, and they recommend keeping the bottom 18 inches or so free of leaves, and so it can increase their air circulation, because dahlias really love good air circulation. But I did this more aggressively than I otherwise would have. I took off a lot more. I really tried to limb off as much of that dead foliage, and luckily for me, the dead foliage, or the most infected foliage in all of the plants, is actually started on the bottom, and it kind of trickled less and less as we got higher on the plant. And so for a lot of these, I actually had a lot of new, good, healthy growth that didn't look infected at all. So I really tried to keep as much on every plant as I could, but also trying to get off as much of the infestation. And then I just sprayed every few days. I would come out and respray the insecticidal soap, and I went through many bottles of the thing, and I'm still going to be coming out and spraying, because I still see some new growth that has, like, it starts with little dots of discoloration on the leaves. So I know that I still need to be really aggressive, and I haven't been able to completely eradicate them from this space either. I would have cut all of them back down to the ground, but I also noticed that this hornbeam tree right behind me is also incredibly affected, and I'm really hoping that I don't lose this tree. I planted it this last fall, and I'm going to turn the camera around in just a moment and kind of show you guys Dahlia Way. And I love calling it Dahlia Way because it makes it sound, you know, it gives it a kind of elegance, and it kind of demands its own attention and presence. And I really like that, because before this spring, I really hadn't ever done anything back here. It was our side forgotten yard. I'm sure we all had those spaces, but it was literally just gravel laid down. It was just a gravel ground cover with some stepping stones to go through. And we have our air conditioning units out here and our pool equipment out here. And so it's just ugly. It really is just an ugly space with nothing on it. So I came in and I planted some jasmine here, and I installed like trellises, wire trellising for them to grow onto. And I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you what I've done so far. And you're obviously going to see that I have a long ways to go still. And I'm hoping that this fall, I actually am going to plant a more permanent hedge around the units, because we still need to be able to access them. Of course, if something goes wrong, you know, we need to be able to clean and maintain the pool equipment. And, you know, if our AC ever goes out or we need repair, we need to be able to get back there easily. So I can't have anything very large, but I attempted to grow a hyacinth bean on it. And actually, the hyacinth bean was very successful, but it just didn't do what I was hoping that it would do. And it's a beautiful plant, and I will completely grow it again. But it just doesn't fill out. It doesn't create a hedge, a visual barrier like I was hoping that it would. And I've seen a few photos of it used in that kind of setting. And so I thought maybe I can do that. And it didn't really do that for me this year. And that's just not the way that it behaved in this space. So I got to come up with a plan B, and hopefully we're going to be doing plan B very soon. So I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you guys some of the blooms. We're still in a struggle here. The risk is not over, and we're still, you know, fighting for these dahlias, but we have some beautiful new blooms. And I just want to show you just a little bit. So bear with me. Let me turn the camera around. Okay, so right here we have I have two great silences right in here. And I took out a lot of this foliage. A lot. There's still some damaged foliage, as you can see, down in these kinds of areas. I'm leaving it for now. I'm treating them, and I'm hoping that the damage is just still there, but the pests that caused it are not. So I really limbed these up, and I feel like the blooming kind of slowed down, and the color also kind of changed. These are actually super interesting because these dahlias, every one is unique and different completely from each other. And even this brand new one is a different hue than the other ones. They all seem to come out pretty uniquely, which I love about this great silence. And before the spider mites and me taking out a lot of the foliage, it was incredibly prolific. And next to it, we have a couple of divas. And I had to take out a lot of her foliage as well. And she has a lot of buds on her. Hopefully she will be okay. This is the platinum blonde. And I had to take out a lot of this foliage. And I feel like the blooms are, maybe it's in my head, but I feel like the blooms aren't quite as robust, the surrounding petals, as maybe they would have been. And right on the other side of this kind of opening walkway to walk to the equipment, I had another platinum blonde, and I had to cut that just completely down to the ground. And I haven't seen that one reemerge yet. Okay, so here in this spot, this was the most infected spot, and I had to cut this peaches and cream down to the ground. The next one over right here, this one is actually one of my cuttings. I believe that's Cafe, and I had to replace it. I had some empty holes in here anyway, so I went ahead and plopped the cuttings down. Right behind her, I have another cutting that went in, so that was like just filling an empty hole. And next to her, right here, is an Evelyn that I had to completely cut back to the ground. And it's really beautiful because we have all this new foliage, and it sucks to go back and start at the beginning, but I'm grateful, you know, that we have a long growing season, and they'll go back and hopefully healthier than they have been. This is Sweet Nathalie, and I had to cut so much of her foliage off, but what is remaining, what has grown back, actually looks really healthy to me. So I'm hopeful that we'll go back to getting some really beautiful blooms out of her, because what she was starting to produce was so beautiful. And I have several breakouts in here, and I am really glad that I invested so much space in her, because she's a star. She really is. I had to cut a lot of her foliage out, but she is very prolific. So I'm really glad that I made the space for her in the garden. I think she is well worth it. She is so beautiful that I can't get enough. She might be my favorite, although there are some ones that I feel like I haven't seen yet. So I want to give some opportunities. This is a Sweet Nathalie. And I'm impressed this bloom kept going, because literally this is the stalk she's left on. I took everything off of her. Some of these were hit worse than others. Sweet Nathalie and my strawberries and cream back here, they are just sticks at this point. And I have some strawberry plants that have like trailed off and grown down there. So my strawberries and cream are in the back. Those are literally just some sticks. And I skipped right over Boom Boom White. Now this is one of my newest ones to bloom. So this is a beautiful ball dahlia, and she is just perfection. She is a beautiful, crisp white with a nice buttery, just beautiful buttery center, and such beautiful form on the petals. A really perfect little ball dahlia. I just adore her. She is doing great. And then coming over here, we have a fleur. And I actually was going to cut this fleur off. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing it wrong, which I'm pretty sure that I am. So this is a dinner plate dahlia. She's a white dinner plate dahlia with a nice, creamy center, and she is really lovely. She's bigger than the size of my hand. So definitely a good 7-8 inches across. This one is getting old, but I wanted to keep her on for the sake of this video. And then we have a brand new bloom just about to open. So that's them when they are just ready to go. In another day or two, she will completely have arrived. And then we have lots of buds on her as well. So she's ready to go again very soon. And then I have some other ones. So this is Teesbrook Audrey, was hit really bad, and she's mainly sticks at this point. Oh, hi, girls. Hi, Junie. All right. So Teesbrook Audrey was hit pretty badly. And we have some little babies. I have great silence in the back. So I see some more damage on the leaves. I don't see an increase in damage, which is good. I mean, I couldn't take everything off. This great silence was challenging because the damage wasn't so severe on all of the like there wasn't a lot of like extreme damage on any particular branch. It was more diffuse. It was more like spread out. So I kind of felt like I needed to leave more because I couldn't kind of prioritize what to keep and what to leave. So I just thought, let's keep most of the foliage on and then just keep spraying and hoping that it doesn't increase. And so far, she's held tight and it seems to have been okay. Here is another breakout. Sorry, I keep going back to breakout. She's just pretty. She's just gorgeous. And here is, I'm going to say this so wrong. Please forgive me. This is a Jerry Hoek. Jerry Hoek. If one of you guys know, please let me know in the comments. She's just opening up and her color, oh my gosh, it's just gorgeous. A little lilac, a little pink, a little blush, a little buttercream. Very excited to see that one open up. And then if we turn around to this other side, we're going to go back this way. And this is a brand new beauty that just came out today. She is K.A. Mocha Jake. So I am so excited about her. She was one of my more expensive splurges out here. And she has been fighting the spider mites also. And, you know, so far I feel like I got a lot of green, good, healthy foliage around her. It doesn't seem to be, the spider mite damage doesn't seem to be increasing. And she threw out her first bloom. And I couldn't be prouder of her. So that's what's kind of blooming now. It's not a great deal, I know, but little bits at a time, and at least I didn't lose my entire dahlia way in garden. So I wanted to show you guys, this is the hornbeam tree right here that is affected. I planted each of these hornbeam trees around the cattle panel arch because I wanted to create a beautiful tunnel to walk through. And I wanted to create my own kind of like canopy to walk through, to walk into kind of like a secret garden kind of area. And I wanted to add a little bit of drama and interest. And I love just dividing spaces and not allowing the eye to see everything all at once. I think that keeps things really exciting and beautiful in gardens. And you want to keep people guessing. But as you can see, this one is clearly much smaller. We're losing a lot of foliage than the one on the other side that is unaffected. I wish I would have caught this sooner, because if the spider mites take out this hornbeam, that's going to be really an expensive loss. And, you know, trees are an investment for me, and it's not just, you know, nothing. It's not just a throwaway plant. So I'm hoping that we can treat her and get on top of her, and then I don't lose my hornbeam tree. So that's pretty much where I'm at with it. I'm trying not to let myself get so down. There's a lot of positives out here. There's a lot of victories and a lot of beautiful things. There's a lot of beautiful blooms everywhere I look. So I just try to stay positive. And, in gardening, sometimes you lose things. And that's kind of the nature of it. And that's the thing, we're playing with nature, and sometimes nature wins. So what I was going to share with you and talk about was, because this is my first year gardening in this space. So this is my big ugly. Okay. This is the spot that I wish I didn't have to see. I created a beautiful garden around it, trying to change this space from an eyesore and a place we all avoid into being a place that the kids actually want to come out and be in, and that we actually want to come out and be in. However, I planted the hyacinth beams. I have several of them planted in here, and as you can see, they've done a really good job. They're a beautiful plant, and I will completely plant them again and do this. I think they're beautiful. I love them on the trellis with their leaf, with their seed pods hanging off of them and sticking. I just absolutely love it. But is it doing what I want it to do here in this location, which is to provide a visual barrier between the garden and the garden path and garden walk and all of this equipment? It really just is not. So this is something that I'm going to be tackling this fall. Okay, so I've been thinking about a lot of things that I can do back here. Idea number one is that I can plant a boxwood hedge around here. The pros of that would be, I love that look. I love a formal boxwood hedge. I love the traditional English garden look. I love mixing it with the whimsy, and I feel like it would be beautiful. And I love the idea of the contrast, and I think it would be a beautiful backdrop to Dahlia Way. So that's one idea. And I should preface this to say that I really don't have much money to spend on this project, really anything at all. I'm trying to just throw pennies at this problem, which, sometimes that's not enough, but I'm hoping that in this case, I can do something pretty and effective. I would like to not have to wait a long time for things to grow in. So there's also the impatient part of me that would like an immediate gratification with that. But that's something that I think money can buy, and I don't have the money to buy that instant gratification. So another idea would be this holiday season, in the next couple of months is when all of the lemon cypresses hit the stores, and they really this is kind of their season, and they're so cute, and I love lemon cypresses. And if I plant them closely enough together, they're so easy to cut. They're so easy to shape. They're great for topiaries. They're great for all kinds of things. And I want to get some and topiary them as part of our Christmas decor for the indoors and everything this year. But I figured maybe I can get some extra ones and pop them in the ground, and close enough that they can grow into each other and form that barrier hedge. And I actually think that would be a quicker option. So even if they start out really small, our lemon cypresses have grown so fast, in a blink of an eye. I think the one that we have in front in the East Garden grew maybe 3 feet so far this growing season, maybe even more. So that's an option. Also, and the third one that I'm considering is what I already have in the East Garden, which is the North Pole arborvitae. And I love those, and they get to be about 10 to 15 feet tall. So it's a little bit taller than I would like. As you can see, these are our living room windows. So I don't want to add darkness to the windows. I really do want this hedge to be about 4 to 5 feet tall, max 5 feet tall. I don't want to block indoor lighting, but I want to be able to form a barrier so that you can't see all of this ugly behind me. So the North Poles are good. It just depends on whether or not I can get them on a good deal. The last time I got those, first of all, they were not in our stores last year, and I kept asking every time I went, when are you getting in your North Poles? And they're like, they should have already been here, and they didn't end up getting them at all. But the year before that, they had so many that they put them on crazy clearance. I got them for about $20 a piece. So I think that if they were already tall, they were a good 4 feet tall at $20 a piece. So, and I really love the look of them. I like them more than the green giant arborvitae. They're very similar, but I just like the foliage a little bit better. I feel like it's just, has the edge on it just a little bit. So as far as cuttings go and bringing things in for the holiday season, I think that it would be beautiful. All of those would be really pretty. I think that it's just going to come down to how much product I need, how much cost, and I think looks wise, I would like to do the boxwood. However, I don't know if I want to wait that long, and, you know, impatient me might, you know, win out, and we could do the North Poles or the lemon cypresses, depending on what I happen to find and what is in stock. I think my husband did expect. That's my husband that doesn't want to be seen. Found me out here. Oh, poor guy. And the girls, of course. The girls are after him. They're like off to beg for more mealworms, because he feeds them all the nice treats, so they love seeing him. So those are my options, and I think I'm going to start to nail down, you know, which one I'm going to go with in the next few coming months, and hope that this hornbeam holds it together, and, you know, recovers from the spider mites. They are just awful. Spider mites are really awful. They will like take out your entire garden if you just let them. They really would. So, you know, good luck to everyone dealing with them. It's awful. But at least we're not alone. At least there's comfort in, you know, fellow company. I know I'm not the only person. You know, this is nature. So anyway, I wanted to take you guys inside also. So hold on just a moment and I'll take the camera in and I'm going to give you just a quick seedling update. Okay, everybody, this is the extent of my seed station. So this is literally it's 2 foot wide, 2 foot by 1 foot, and it has 5 shelves, and this is what I've used for the last couple of years, 3 years now, starting seeds. And I just might decide I need to upgrade myself this coming year, because doing these larger soil blocks, I can only fit 2 trays on one of my shelves, and I just think it's not going to be enough with how many things I'm going to be fall planting. So these are the delphiniums, and I actually have a great germination rate on this one. And these are the verbascum, and I have all blocks are full on this one. I gotta thin them out in a little bit. It just breaks my heart to do that. And I like to give them a little time to really like establish and show me which ones are the stronger ones and which ones I'm gonna keep. These are my humidified Ziploc bags of tubers that these two have not come out. So that was apple blossom and this is larkspur. So that's a bummer. I think they're not rotted. I check on them regularly. It's a humidified bag of soil. There's no growth on them. I think they genuinely just did not have an eye on them, which is a shame, you know. This is Lysianthus seeds that we started last week. And of course, no germination yet. It's still a bit early. And then this is more of the delphiniums, and some have done better than others. And there are also random little seedlings that I think are larkspur that were mixed in the Johnny's seed packets that they gave me, which I don't mind. I love larkspur. I'm starting that anyway. So this just gives me what I think is a few larkspur, and I'm gonna let it grow. I'm gonna see what it does. So things are coming along, and I'm thinking tonight I'm going to be starting foxgloves and snapdragons. So that's it. Everything's doing really well. All right, everybody. So that's about all that I had to share with you today. I thought I would finish off with some cute ducks in a pool, and they do love the pool. They're in here. They're in and out of it all day. So they have it pretty good. Thank you for coming along with me today, and also share photos, share updates of your seedlings with me. I hope that your fall starting seed season is going well as well, and I love to see photos of your little seedlings, just like I like to go and visit mine every day. So yeah, keep me updated, send photos, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And this coming week, I'm gonna have to do some work on our border because it is just overgrown it's growing wild. We barely have a path left. So I'm going to have to tame that back into submission. And so I think I'm probably going to take you guys along with me to do that. So hopefully you'll join me for that then. And I hope you have a good rest of your week. Thank you.